sharing hope and inspiration. Victims of victors, hear the sound, lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation, sharing hope and inspiration. Podcast, we've been broken, we've been bruised, but we rise, we never lose. Ooh, turn the pain into a mission. Now we're speaking, now we're living. From victims, for victors, hear the sound. Victims to victors, hear the sound. Lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation. Sharing hope and inspiration. From victims to victors, hear the sound. Lifting each other off the ground. This is truth, this is elevation. Sharing hope and inspiration podcast.
Hello, Jim.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is episode 10. This is our season finale for this podcast, Sharing Hope and Inspiration. We would love to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for joining us. I'm one of your hosts, Jim, with my lovely co-host, Denise Jackson.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
And we would just love to welcome everybody to Sharing Hope and Inspiration podcast, a place where we turn pain into purpose. Tonight's conversation is a little bit different, everybody. As you know, it's October, and not only is it Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but it's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. That's why my little butterfly is pink and purple. So we have a lot going on in terms of women's health, physically and mentally. So this is a very important episode for us. We decided to wait until the month of October to do our season finale for this reason alone. Today, the conversation is a little different. During the course of the podcast, we've had several guests on, but today we're talking to a fellow mother that has lost her daughter to domestic violence. So today's title is Mother to Mother. I'm going to step back on this one, being that I'm going to let the mothers have it. And I think this would be a much more impactful conversation between the two. So today we would like to welcome a very special guest. We had the honor of talking to her during one of our other forums we had. She showed so much strength in that moment, and we just knew that her story would be impactful, and it's a story to be heard by all. So if you guys would please help us welcome Dr. Pearl Lilly to the stage, we'll be grateful. Welcome.
Welcome.
Now let me tell you, you a hard person to catch up with. You always on the go. But we are elated to have you here. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share my story on this platform. I appreciate you both. I am Dr. Pearl Lilly, Doctor of Human Services, where I thought in my head I was still, stream away from being a medical doctor because I have the heart of compassion to do the human services aspect of that, to help mothers in need, families in need, children's in need, child abuse advocate, published author of 20 books, advocating for change within the African American community. I used to teach code and drones.
Come on, Miss Pearl.
Right. Just One thing I think about, regardless of how many accolades I have or how many degrees I have, my grandfather, who was a professor at Michigan State, always say it doesn't matter the amount of degrees you have, but what you do with it. And so I'm
Come on
trying to
now.
be mindful of what he always installed in me, um, about helping others and not being selfish, whether it's information I've learned about housing or food bank, just sharing. Sharing is caring.
Correct.
All right, we're gonna have to talk later, Miss Pearl. You're just so smart. um and resourceful. Okay, so ladies, I'm gonna turn the stage over to you guys and let you guys have that conversation. And I'll be in the background if you need me.
Okay. Well, Miss
Okay.
Pearl, I want to thank you so very much for joining us today. It's a pleasure. It's an
Thank you.
honor, and I thank you so very much. But before we talk about what happened
Yeah.
to your daughter, I would like to start by hearing something about your daughter. You know, what was she like? What made her special to you?
My daughter, Sheila Ann Mans, was amazing. When I think of my daughter, I think about resilience, I think about strength, I think about all the challenges she faced on a daily basis. My daughter woke up one day with blisters all over her. We didn't know what was going on. I think we were in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and resources are scarce, and that we didn't know anyone really. Um, but the people that coworkers, I was teaching
Mhm.
at Pine Bluff High, and I just like, what happened to my child? Come to find out, we had to go to Little Rock, Arkansas. She had what they say, quote unquote, the white form of lupus, where her pores were seeping fluids,
Yeah.
blood, and all that stuff. And regardless of the condition she faced with the lupus, she kept pushing through. Then she
Mm.
had the schizophrenic and all the other mental um, components of mental illness. But regardless of everything she endured, she was resourceful. She always made a dollar. She always was able to put $200-300 in the mailbox for her boys. She struggled, but she was amazing. When she was growing up, we're from originally from Lansing, Michigan, and she went to a visual and performing arts school, and she played violin by
Mhm.
sound, hearing, keyboard. She was top star and on her basketball team. I mean, she was just amazing.
All around amazing. That's
Yes.
that's that's great. So with that being said, do you mind sharing what happened? Like my story, everyone knows that my daughter was gunned down February 18th of 2013 by her son's father. She was only 20 at the time. And it happened really maybe like a week and a half before, about a week before her 21st birthday. Yeah.
Um, when I think, well, I'm a piggyback for a little bit. When I continue to think about my daughter and her name
Mm-hmm.
with love, I start my day with this. I continue to speak her name with love,
Yes.
and I think
Yes.
about scripture, Proverbs chapter 10, verse 7. The memory of the righteous
Mhm.
is blessed,
Yes.
and
Yes.
she was blessed.
Yes.
Um, and more so, I push through the pain every day. It was
Mhm.
it September. Well, we moved from Arkansas um, to Georgia so I can teach um, at Atlanta Public School, but I fell in the category of the cheating scandal, so
Mhm.
I wasn't able to start. Not knowing, should I go back or should I go back home to Michigan? My daughter's like, no, let's just stay here. It's going to be good. So we decided to stay here. And she met this individual
Mm.
at the bus stop.
Wow.
And he sweet talked her. And this was um, 2018. 2018. And then the relationship continued. 2019, he started to show signs there were some underlying mental illness
Mm-hmm.
where he was snapping for no reason or just looking at everybody crazy in like a demonic state and
Right.
talking say, your mom them don't love you. Bro, your mom don't love you like this. So he started getting into her mind. Told her I was poisoning her. She got off her psych meds, lupus meds, and it went downhill. So
Mm-hmm.
she got pregnant towards the end of 2019. The baby was born 2020. So when the baby was like 4 days of age, they went to the hotel on Old National and he convinced her to leave the baby there with him and the other two siblings who were, I think, 8 and 9 at the time. And he smothered the baby, um,
No.
causing his conditions today. The boys took him
Mm.
and ran, and I think I turned my vehicle into a plane. I
You
got there
did.
so fast.
Yeah.
And when he was 1, she was able to get visitation again, where DFACS gave her a voucher for a hotel, and he ended up finding her and the boys. Again, he did trauma to the youngest child, which is his, and mandated to do reports, paperwork against my own daughter for
Mm-hmm.
their safety. And then that's when he put out a hit on me and the two older sons of hers.
Wow. Wow.
So when we were going through the defects process, we had 24 hours to leave. My family and I, we went to um, Wolf Lodge in Tennessee for a week,
Mhm.
came back, gathered our stuff, and I had a week to move. We went to Arkansas. So coming back without permission, thinking that, okay, I can move back. She's going to give birth to the second child, a female child, and I can move her back to Arkansas with me. Just having plans and things in place for her safety as well as ours. So it came to be the baby was due August, no, September 3rd, but August 20th, 22nd, he beat her on Facebook Live. I had over 500 messages to call,
No.
to look at Facebook, get on Auntie Pearl, 500 messages.
Wow.
And when I looked at the video, he was stomping her in her stomach, beating her, punching her, pulling out her hair, and she
Jesus.
was sitting there crying. His family walking past in the midst of this. So they rushed
Dysfunction.
her to the, yeah, he stumped her stomach. Her stomach was perfectly round. She was 9 months. By the time they got her to the hospital, it was like a pancake shape like this.
Mm.
And the baby Chastity, was delivered August 23rd. Um,
Mm.
but she took 2 breaths and she died. He
Wow.
bust her face open and the fluid drowned her. So we went through that process. We went to the process of trying to prepare to bury her, getting outfits for her. And in the midst of going back and forth to stores to get the perfect outfit for the deceased baby was like forever.
Mm-hmm.
We, in the midst of us getting the outfit and getting her prepared to transition from my daughter's room to the morgue, the father snuck in. It was like, it's, forgive me, my language. I'm going to be as real as possible. Bitch, why you got this baby in here? Why you got this thing in here? So he kicked the baby crib over. And when he kicked the baby crib over, her neck detached.
Mm.
And my daughter called me, Mom, 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 the baby is dead. The baby is dead. The baby was already dead. But in her mind, she was still, because the nurses were still changing the baby, putting diapers on the baby. But when the baby neck detached, the baby was dead. So we went through the process, cremated the baby. Well, we had to fight the father to get custody of the baby. So I had to get custody of the deceased baby. And the only way I can do that is I said, I will give you whatever I have in my account. And he said, okay, ho, okay. He never showed up at the funeral home or anything. So speeding up, we made the preparation for the baby. The baby was still at Williams and Murray Funeral Home on McDaniel in Atlanta for over 20 something days. He would not release her to me. And the funeral home was like, we're going to have to get the state involved. So by that time, when they told him about the state, September 23rd,
Mm-hmm.
he was threatening my daughter. I had so many audios, before becoming a doctor, I was a criminal justice. So I knew the ins and out, what to document and record and what have you. So 23rd of September, he was threatening her. He was going to kill her. You stupid hoe. I'm going to kill you and your kids. Got that on recording. We were going to meet on the September 24th to get her plane tickets, her and the children, because she was in the process of transitioning
Mm-hmm.
them. So we had a plan in place to get her to safety. And I took the boys to the dentist. And that morning, it was like, I guess, 9:30. And then all of a sudden, the phone went black. We kept trying to call her, no response. Then the day of her death, she felt like she needed to go back and get her clothes after
Mm-hmm.
we pulled out money. We got tickets, everything she needed. Don't worry about those clothes, you know. So September 26th, my oldest daughter and I were at the gun range because we knew we needed to get it together because of all the threats. And my sister-in-law in Florida called and said, Pearl, she was screaming, 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 because everybody was looking for me on Facebook, on Messenger, everywhere, looking for me. And my sister-in-law finally called my phone and said my daughter was dead. I
Mm-hmm.
screamed. I let out a wail. I don't know, it came from the sole of my feet. And my daughter looked and she said, Mom, what's going on? I went outside and I just started punching the brick, punching the gun place, the brick, just punching with my fist till I fractured my hand.
Mm.
My daughter was gone and we went over there. I couldn't even walk. People was helping my daughter to put me in the car, and we went to Camelot Apartment, Old National.
Oh, no,
There was
national. Right.
no crime scene, no crime tape, no police officer, nothing. We went everywhere to find a police officer, and they was like, yes, they had taken her to Southern Regional. We was like, what
Yeah.
is this? Because we just know Grady and we just know Emory.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took her to Southern Regional, and they were like, they didn't have her. And then the crazy part about it is the ambulance, before we even got to Southern Regional, someone, I can't disclose the name, but someone was sending me images of my deceased daughter.
Wow.
So I have her dead on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor took us, and they were like, um, I asked him, I saw him at his aunt's house. His aunt lived across the breezeway from the mayor who was doing this experiment, thinking that he can change Old National, he can change Camelot Apartment or those people's individuals' mentality. No, because prior to that, they had killed another family, a nurse, her husband, who was a construction worker. They were from Chicago, Illinois. They arrested his cousin and his brother, but failed to arrest him. So they felt to his victimization because of my daughter. My daughter was watching and babysitting their children, and they wouldn't let him in the house. So they killed them to get to my daughter. So, with all that being said, when he killed my daughter, he was on probation for beating his mom. So, back to the
Wow.
hospital. Back to the hospital. They took us through these doors, down this hallway, and I noticed it was like a dungeon. It wasn't a hospital. It was dark and it was holes throughout the walls. I already knew
Mhm.
my daughter was gone. I knew she was gone.
So
Talking to the Mhm.
prior to him taking her life, why had he not already been arrested for the things that he had done to her prior, or even to his family?
He, from my PI and the investigation we have going, well, we had going, um, he's a narc. He snitches. Um, my daughter, because I don't want to just like talk about the good stuff. My daughter and this boy and other people, gang affiliated, posing with guns, um,
Mhm.
trafficking minors, I believe. Um,
Yeah. And even with all of those things being said, and you've been like perfectly honest about your daughter, he still had no right to take her life.
exactly.
At the end of the
That's what I
day, he
told.
had no right to take her
Hmm.
life, regardless of how she chose to live her life with him,
Hmm.
for him, or through him. He did not have the right to take her life. And for those that defended him, they were just as dysfunctional as he
South
was.
South Fulton. The investigator was like, they thought I was in Arkansas still. They said you was in Arkansas teaching. Like, no, I've been here all day long.
Come
And
on.
when I
And and from one mother to another, who knows this pain firsthand, I I feel you. I feel you. I understand you. And I can only imagine what it felt like having to go to the hospital, walk down that dark hall, walk in that room to ID your daughter. I get it. Because with losing Shy, I ID'd her by her tattoo. Even though I
I
saw her
couldn't.
lying on the ground, they had her covered. I knew that was my child, but I had to identify her through her tats.
My oldest
So,
daughter and my youngest daughter went in the room because I couldn't.
mhm,
Um,
yeah. Take your
My
time.
youngest, my youngest daughter was like, if she hung herself, why is there multiple marks on her neck?
Hmm.
So that was question number one. The crazy thing throughout this investigation is the item that was used to hang her was a IV cord
Hmm.
from an ambulance that was
Wow.
not even in operation.
Wow.
How was she able to get this IV cord from this ambulance that was no longer operating?
Correct.
It was set up because
Hmm.
before we went to the hospital, this bastard told me while he was smoking weed, whatever he was smoking, because they was on drugs, he hung her in the closet, and then he realized he had warrants. So he took her down, and then he hung her back up in the closet and shut the door. Him and his male partner, because she was leaving him because she found out he was with a man, and she had the video of them performing on her phone, and then the money on this card from all the legal activities. They wanted the phone and they wanted the card. And she had given all that possession to another friend who's in protective custody right now. But he hung her in the closet and shut the door and walked across the street to get a black.
Jesus.
I went to my car, got my certification, and my daughter grabbed me. Ma, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. So she took it from me. We went back to the car and then we went to the hospital.
Hmm. That's a lot for us to carry. It's a lot for us to carry. And I think when people see us day to day, they just see strength.
Yeah.
That's all they see is strength. But behind all that strength is weakness, is sadness, you know, tears. They don't see that aspect of us. They really, really don't. But, in the midst of all of this, you pretty much, summed up um when you realize something wasn't right in a relationship. So you pretty much spoke on all of that as as a whole. Um and I know there are some days when you feel heavy,
Hmm.
when you feel extremely heavy. What do you do to overcome that? Like how do you get through it?
Um, God,
Mm-hmm.
prayer, my parents, Apostle Sharon Wright, Pastor Denise Watson, my bishop,
Mm-hmm.
Sonia E. Wright,
Mm-hmm.
Sonia Williams, First Lady,
Mm-hmm.
Tressa,
Okay.
Regina, you.
So you have a army of people to cover you. And you know what? I have that as well. I have it in you, I have it in Jim. I have it in so many people, but there are times when it's just me. There are times when it's just me. There are times when I don't want to hear from anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to listen to anybody. I just sometimes get in those moments when I just want to cry.
Yeah, that part.
I just want to cry. I just want to be left alone in my tears. And there are many that would not understand why, but sometimes me crying is another breakthrough because I feel like day by day I'm breaking through something when it comes to that barrier of having to, lose my child.
Yes. So understood.
Yeah. So
It's
it's like, there are some days I feel like I said earlier, it's like all of most people only see strength.
yeah.
This is all they see strength. So we're having to daily mask how we truly feel.
Yes.
Because
And that
there are days when I can be out and I can see a young lady that looks my daughter age. And then I say to myself, oh God, what would Shy be doing now? And then I get sad because I'm like, why am I even asking myself that? It would never happen. So do you ever feel as such?
I do
Mm-hmm.
daily. Daily I have to force myself to get up and get out the bed. Get these kids, you left three surviving sons. And I
Mm.
look at them and then I get angry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I really cried for her because I'm trying to get this breakthrough.
Okay.
It started to really hit me about a week or so at church where I broke down. I felt
Mm-hmm.
safe. I knew I was in trouble because I had started to plot and plan. I saw him last month.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken my grandkids' other grandmother to where she died, to her apartment. We haven't even cleaned her apartment out yet.
Wow.
And I saw him. He didn't realize who I was, I don't think, because of the vehicle I was driving was different. Um, I stopped in the middle of the road in the parking lot. He had on some white Air Forces. He had on some blue jeans with rips. He had on a nice t shirt. His hair was groomed. He had a cell phone in his hand and he smiled. All I could do, I think I blanked out. I don't know, but my feet hit the pedal. I wanted to run him over,
Mm-hmm.
but she turned the steering wheel and we left.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that going through everything in my head, and I said, if I didn't have these children, I would be okay being in jail.
Right.
But I recall her anniversary last month. Regina said, we're going to look at it differently. We're not going to cry about it. We're going to pray about it. Tressa hugged me, embraced me like a mother. And I was able to release,
Mm-hmm.
breathe, and release, let go, and let God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think it's hard. It's very hard because oh God, it's so very hard to come to terms with being a grieving mother. It's so, so very hard because for me, I really didn't accept the fact that she was gone, that she was gone until we actually started trial. Um, she was taken in 2013. We started trial in 2015. So it wasn't until that we started going through trial that I said to myself, this is real. Like, this is my reality. And losing her has been the hardest thing I've ever had to endure. And I'm sure that I can say that for you as well. Hardest thing I ever had to endure. But having to sit through a trial and relive this all over again was even harder. You know, there were days that I didn't eat.
Hmm.
There were months where I didn't sleep. I felt like my sanity had been just taken away from me. And even
Yeah.
though I had Raph, um, I didn't see him at that time. Like, I saw nothing. I saw absolutely nothing. You know, I felt like my whole world had been shattered, and I had my other kids, but
Hmm.
I felt like my whole world had been shattered.
Yeah.
Um, So I was taking medicine to sleep. I was taking medicine to just cope. I was walking outside masking how I felt. And you know, and you sometimes be in a place where you don't even want to be sad around people because you don't
Yeah.
want them to feel uncomfortable. You know, you
Yes.
don't want you don't want them to feel uncomfortable. So you try not to be sad. But what I had to do, it was like, Denise, you're going to allow this pain to define you, or you're going to define it. And
Yes.
that's when I decided, you know what? I have to do something in her honor to celebrate her in death just as much as I did in life because she loved parties. She loved the holidays. So
Yes.
that's when we came up with the Shy Foundation, sharing hope and inspiration. So that's my purpose now. And again, you know, it can some days are bittersweet when I'm doing
Yeah.
stuff for her. Because again, I'm celebrating her in death, but I'm like, she's supposed to be here.
Yes.
Supposed to be here. And then I look at Raph and I'm like, this is the hero of my heart
Yes.
because God knew what I needed before I even knew. And it's the same as with you and your grandkids. God
Yes.
knew you would need them.
Because the boys, the night that we came home from the hospital, it was like the longest drive ever.
Mhm.
And I know that's the reason why I stay gone on the highway so I can just blank everything out
Yes.
and just drive. And I used to be afraid of the highway. And
Hmm.
the boys were like, "Why? I thought we don't tell each other lies." We were like, What?" And they thought we were lying because they's like, "Y'all just don't want to tell us the truth." Mommy left us again. She left because she would leave them. I had custody of them. She
Hmm.
said they thought she had abandoned them again.
Mm.
And I think that was the hardest for us. And we just embraced in this hurdle, football hurdle, and just hugged them
Yes, God.
because they thought she had left again.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, yeah, it's hard, you
it's
know,
it
and
is.
it is hard. And you know, I've heard people say that um time heals all wounds. For me, that is so taboo because I feel like, and it's just my personal opinion, you know, as a mother who grieves for her daughter every day, like, that's not a day go by when I don't think about my baby. There's not a day go by that I don't think about Shy. Um, I I I promise you on God, at least 3, 4 times out of a week, Denise is sharing tears. And it has a lot to do with the work that I do and the young ladies that I see. And it takes me back. But then
Yes.
I'm also, it'd be like some tears are tears of joy because it's like, I am helping somebody.
Yes.
I
Yes.
am helping somebody. And that's what you're doing. You're helping somebody. And us helping others helps us.
Yes. So true.
you know it helps us to cope with it even more so. But as far as someone, people saying, you know time who heals all wound. No, no, no,
Man.
no. I
No.
don't
No.
think for me there will ever be closure,
Yes.
because that's my daughter.
So true.
It is my
So
daughter,
true.
so there would never be closure when it
No.
comes to her loss. Never. Never ever. And I'm sure you
No.
probably feel the same way. There would never be closure.
No amount of justice,
Mm-mm.
even when we reach that point of, see, her case is tied with a FBI case, a RICO case. So we had to sit down for a second. Some of the
Mhm.
witness are in protected custody, protection witness, yeah. And so it's like I have to not go to certain areas. It took me a long time to go to best friend. It took me a long time to go to Godby because his mother lives on Godby Road. And she plotted and set it up where they broke in my daughter's house, destroyed her house that we were going to move her. And it's like everything of me, I had to think like they don't exist because a part
Mhm.
of me, that mother, I want to eat they black asses up.
Yeah.
I want them so bad.
Yeah.
I want to push his mother down the flight of stairs. She can break her neck. I want to catch him, strap him up like he did my daughter, cut his damn balls off, his fingers, his
Yeah.
tongue.
I get
But
it.
I have to say, Pearl, you're not being rational. That's when that
Correct.
mental illness kicks in, and I'm trying to stay whole.
Yeah.
So I had to make the necessary calls to my therapist, to the psychiatrist, to
Hmm.
my parents in Texas, so I can just not
Yeah.
react and
Yeah.
think about life. Think about these boys. Think about her. Everybody that cares for me, love me, and
Yeah.
not do anything irrational.
Exactly. And with me, I can honestly say, um, justice was served, as they say, double life plus 25. But that still does not say it's okay. It still does not say that I'm good. It
Yeah.
does not say, oh, you're gonna be all right. Because here's the thing, yeah, you got double life plus 25, but people can talk to you still. I speak to my daughter in my dreams or when I go out to her gravesite. That's how
Yes.
we have our conversations. You know, my daughter's her face is when I'm looking at her pictures that I'm always surrounded by. Ralph missed the first of many things
Yes.
about his mom. So justice was served, but again, we
He's
cannot
still
get her
alive.
back. He's still alive. We can't get her back. But what I had to learn to do was
Just wait 1 minute, guys. We got look
pull
there. She,
myself away from those areas because they trigger me.
Yes.
So there are certain areas of the town that I still don't want to go in because they trigger me. Like when I do work at DeKalb County, I can only be there for so long because that's where the trial was, and that's where we were at back to back for almost 2 months.
Mm.
South Harrison, a trigger. So
And
any
I'm
of those,
right there, huh?
any a lot of those areas triggers me, and I like no, because it just put me in a bad place.
Yes.
It put me in a very bad place. So I get it when you say I felt like doing this or I felt like doing that. Trust me, I get it.
'Cause those panic attacks is real. It's like,
Yeah,
whew, yeah.
I get it. So I know. mm, if there was one thing you can go back and say, mother to your daughter, what would it be?
I would say sorry. I'm sorry for not listening more, paying
Hmm.
paying more attention before I paid attention. But I'm more sorry for not introducing my daughter, my children to God,
Hmm.
because church hurt and was a debilitating factor for me.
Hmm.
And I was thinking that if myself and my children and other female were hurt in the church back home in Michigan, church is not a safe place. So I
Correct.
didn't allow my children to go to church because I didn't want them to be molested.
Right.
I took away the Bibles. I took away everything that was affiliated with church. I had to move back to the South, to Greenwood, Mississippi, until I landed here at RIM to understand what church home felt like. Dallas, Texas, at my
God.
parents' church, to have an understanding, because my mother, Apostle Sharon, would say, living through hell while having hope.
Hmm.
So, how do I have hope while going through hell? I don't go back to home, which is Michigan, where the hurt.
Hmm.
I'm here in Georgia, and I go home to Dallas, Texas.
Mm.
I was honored to be ordained at my mother's church in Dallas, Texas, as evangelist. I was honored to have my grandchildren baptized by Bishop.
Hmm.
I don't want them to be afraid, like I was afraid, to where
Right.
I hindered my children's knowledge of God. And if she would have been introduced sooner to God, she would have had that faith that no man could deter you or tear you down, because man will hurt you, but he will not.
Yeah.
I
And I
wish I
think,
would have.
sometimes too, like Shy, was into church, but her mindset was she always believed that she can save the world. Like she can save the world. She can help everybody. And that was her downfall. She felt like she could change him. Like she can make him do something different
Hmm.
than other than what he was doing. But I would say to her, and I still say this to this day, when an individual get used to doing a said something and it has worked for them, they're not gonna change because it
No,
worked.
it worked.
It
Brainwashing,
worked. So
manipulation.
they're not gonna change. So I know losing your daughter as I've lost mine changes everything. Like it changes so very much.
Yeah.
So many different things. But
Yes.
how have you what helped you to breathe? what taught you how to breathe again, how to live again, how to be whole?
Waking up
Mm-hmm.
every morning because I struggle with self harm,
Mm-hmm.
um, get to eat, just forgetting to breathe. I would go outside on my porch and look around, look at the birds, the squirrels, look at the babies, even when they being silly or out of character.
Mm-hmm.
I have the opportunity to do it differently and better.
Wow.
Getting in my car, just having the music playing. Everybody know me. I love music. It takes those thoughts away.
And you
And
like to dance, Miss Pearl. Don't leave that out. You like to dance.
yes, and just learning to live again in the midst of the storm. It just a new way of living because she's not here.
Yeah.
It feels so empty, but I
Mm-hmm.
know she's still here in
Yeah.
spirit.
It's like you had to, and I say this often, it's like you had to learn how to live a new normal. Like
Yes,
you have to learn how to live a new normal. And I like I said, I miss Shy. I grieve for Shy every single day. And it's hard. And sometimes when I'm at my lowest, I just go in Raf room and I just look at him. You know, because it's like I see her whole face.
identical. Yes,
Yeah, I see her entire face. And even when he's sleeping, I find myself sometime just going to his room and just staring at him, and I'm like, God, you knew,
yeah, yeah,
you knew I would need something to hold on to, you know. And then with her foundation, it just give me purpose. It give me a reason to keep going.
yes.
Yeah, it really does. Well, my last question, Miss Pearl, and we're gonna bring Mr. Jim back in. Uh, um, you know, as a mother, we carry strength we don't even know we have. What do you think your strength come from?
Ooh, Jesus. Let me see. I think about her a lot. I think about so I was just I don't know, like even during the struggles, the peace when there's quiet, when
Mhm.
everybody is still, then that is me. Okay, let's get up and sweep the floor. Let's get up and mop the floor and just being whole and writing the next book. Um,
Mhm.
and just remembering that God plan doesn't end at loss.
Mhm.
You know, keep pushing through, trying to protect others through helping. She used to say to me before she, realized she was like, okay, I wanted to get out of this relationship. So she was like, Mom, I'm moving forward. So my nonprofit foundation is uh, moving forward spiritual healing.
Look at God.
And so I won't be stuck and just finding a purpose to live and help others through helping other friends through coat drives, book drive,
Mhm.
whatever it may be, just giving back to the
That's
community.
it. Right, 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 right. if your daughter, say for the mothers that are out there listening to us,
Uh-huh.
that may have a daughter that's going through the same thing that my daughter and your daughter experience,
Yeah.
what would you want them to know?
Um, Pay attention, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Every detail, every slap, every comment,
Right.
everything he would say to her or she would say to him.
Yeah.
Um, it's triple hard for me. I'm piggyback. We lost my nephew September 26th, 2022. Sheila
Oh.
September 26th, 2023. My
Mm.
cousin in Greenville, Mississippi, 8 months ago, domestic violence. So
Jesus.
it's like, ooh, Jesus, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
Keep standing after you fall. And every tear you shed, get up. Still get up the next morning and forgiving, even when you don't understand why.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
standing up to say domestic violence will not silence me, my daughter, and my family. Hope God can rebuild the ashes, but He
Yes.
knows the plan He has for you. And I've been thinking about Bishop. We had the service this past Sunday about free forgiveness, release, extend, and enlarge the territory. I'm using that to heal.
Yes.
Even though I'm not at the forgiving part, but I forgive my daughter for her choices because love is
Correct.
love, regardless how bad it hurts. I'm
Mm-hmm.
releasing myself to allow God to heal me, help me.
Yes,
And
God.
I'm extending my purpose in life. And I'm enlarging my
And so,
territory to allow love and those who care for me to help me build so that I can be whole and help someone else instead of feeling broken.
oh my God. That was beautiful, Miss Pearl. I thank you so very much. Jim, what are you? That was
Over here is speechless. I'm not
that was
even gonna lie.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, Miss
Now
Pearl,
it's a hard
it's
walk.
a it's
It's a journey within himself, but God gave us these shoes to walk that journey. You
Yes,
know, regardless of how many miles we have to walk. And and sometimes it may feel like we got tacks and glass and all kind of stuff in our shoes. But we got to fight this fight. We
yes,
got to do it.
we got to. We got to.
Yes,
I want to come and join you.
yes, definitely, definitely.
Denise, I was looking at a clip of you performing that song you do. Why me? Is it why
Hmm.
me? Yeah.
Why not me?
Why not me? Yeah.
Why
That's
not?
Yeah.
I did not I don't know if I don't remember, but I was not aware of the details of your story. So
No.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. It was a lot to
Yeah.
hear, a lot to digest. As you were talking, I was also thinking about Denise's journey too, and I saw a lot of correlations between the two. And I was just sitting over here like, my God, these women, like, I don't know how. I don't know how you guys do it.
But
Um,
God.
It's a
but
lot. It's like you almost, sometimes I find myself walking in this zombie state. Like, this is so unreal. But when I hear the children laughter, snap back into
God.
it.
And I
Yeah.
remember when Denise was going through all these different phases of some of those same things, the anger, just she was there, but it was like it was blank. She was blank. It was like she was just going through life just on autopilot. And I remember how hard it was just to sit in the midst of that. Um, and I just want to just like point out to anybody who's in a situation, listen to these mothers. Like, don't don't have your mom in this situation. This is a lot. I know it's not easy to get out of a domestic relationship, as everybody just say, like, just leave. It's not that easy, but
Not
Not
that
that
easy.
easy.
I encourage you to try. It doesn't just affect just you. Sometimes they get mad and say, just stay out of my business. It's everybody's business at this point. It affects the children, it affects your parents, it affects your friends and family and all the ones that care about you. Um, and even when you were talking, Miss Pearl, how you were saying, like, was asking, like, well, who keeps you grounded? Like, who, like, you really have to lean on your circle support. In those moments when you're enraged and sometimes you can't think for yourself, so you need somebody to help you, kind of cage that. And I thank God that you had people that you could go to,
Yeah.
for that, because her kids, they need you. It's no need of them losing everybody, because I mean,
Because the world will teach you a lesson because I say this for me. When the casket closed, the call stops. They stopped.
Mm-hmm.
the call stop, the visit stop, the how you
Mm-hmm.
doing stop, all that stops.
All of that stuff.
It
And,
does.
All of
and
that
my
stuff.
boys outside of school, all they have is REM.
Miss
All they
Pearl,
have is REM.
I can tell you
And you
this.
all,
When we lost Shy, there was wall to wall people in my house. Damn near
Down the
every day.
street all
Damn
night
near every
long.
day.
We was putting
Where,
them out. It was so many of
you
people.
know, Dirty Red, Chocolate, Rashida, Rika, they were putting people out of my house. And these were
wow,
some had never been to my home before. And not to say that I wasn't appreciative of them being here and showing support, but what about me after the fact? So
exactly.
you're right, the call stop, the visit stop, all of that. And it's so great to have a set few
Yeah,
that stuck in there with you. Because I know I was a basket case, but I can always say, thank you, Jim. Thank you,
yeah.
Justin. You know,
I think
there's
I was,
certain people that I can honestly just extend my hand to right now because they are still here. They never
yeah,
moved, they never wavered.
yeah. I know,
So,
I think the night after, or maybe a week after she died, we were at a park. I don't even remember the park. I think it's over by the Mercedes Benz. And friend Levi, she was like, "Y'all be safe out there." And because they was a shooting at Rosa Park, but we wasn't at that park. And I think if I wouldn't have got that text or that call, I would probably not be here. It took that to make me snap out of whatever psychotic episode I was going through because I knew the boys would be safe. I had already
mhm,
plotted, planned for the boys to go to Tressa. I wanted to do what I needed to do because of what I was feeling and his family laughing. People sending me
right.
dead pictures of my daughter. I was going
That's
through it. Then CPS
crazy.
was like, gave me 5 days to get out of Georgia. So we went into hiding. We went from Georgia to Arkansas, Arkansas to Texas to Michigan, back to Dallas, Texas to Georgia. in a year.
Oh
That's
wow.
a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. With no assistance, no money for them or anything. I emptied out my whole bank account. And that whole journey until I was like, Levi, I need money for food.
Mm. God,
CPS dropped the ball on these children and on my daughter.
God, Jesus.
It is crazy to me, even like going through the journey with Denise with Shy's case, how the victim's family doesn't get any support in terms of the situation, and the aggressors in the situation, they like Shy's abuser. His family was so rowdy, so
Oh my
mean.
God.
Like we were having to be escorted out of court, and I'm like, your person did this to our family. Like there was no accountability on their part. There was
None.
excuses being made. And I'm like, when are we going to wake up and start holding people accountable? Yes, we know that's your loved one, but they did something wrong. They caused harm to somebody else. They took a life. So why aren't you going to implement accountability on their part? The only thing you should be saying is, I'm sorry. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
That's it.
That's it. But
that's
instead,
it.
you want to cuss, you want to fight. We didn't do anything to you. We just want justice. You know what I mean? What little bit of justice we can get,
Yeah.
and you would think the law would be right there standing next to us, but they're not.
Mm-mm.
The game, they play is kind of crazy. Um,
It is.
Yeah.
It really
And I'm
is.
still going through it. The investigator was like, "Oh, regardless of the elements she hung around with, she wasn't raised like that." And they were like, "You who?" I was like, "I'm her mother." "Who are you?" I'm Dr. Lily." "You're what?" The investigator,
Mm.
Patrick Triplett, was like, "Oh, you're a doctor?" I said, "What in the hell do that have to do with my daughter being dead?" And he
Exactly.
said, "Well, I'm
Exactly.
I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna give you." We went through 5 different investigators to now nothing. I reached out to the captain, South Fulton. Oh, it was suicide by hanging on her death certificate. I sent them about 2 weeks ago a copy of a letter, her death certificate, because they failed to cooperate with investigator King of South Fulton. There's It was undetermined because of failure to comply by South Fulton.
My
And
God.
they tried to cover up. And I said respectfully, you a damn black ass lie. You a liar. You guys failed my daughter. Death by suicide? No, it was undetermined because you all didn't bring him in. It was a warrant. And you still didn't bring him in because he's working for y'all. But regardless of the justice we get, I can't do no more than what God, can do to him. So I
Absolutely.
know, even if I
Absolutely.
don't live to see justice, I know it will because that's all I got to say. And I'm going to
Yeah,
let
That's
God
how
handle this because the battle is not mine, it's his.
you
it
better
is.
say that. But we do. We thank you so very much, Miss Pearl, for joining us. I will be calling you so we can
Yes.
hook up on some other events together.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna
Okay.
be calling you because you're gonna teach me how to do this coding thing better than.
Yeah.
That's why I
But
left. My last assignment was in Dunwoody. Ooh, Jesus. That's all I'm going to say.
You already know where I'm at, so you come on up the street and
we
help me
do.
out.
We thank you
Yeah,
so
I
very
was at
much.
Walmart
You
today.
know, you got
Okay,
anything to
thank
say,
you.
Janelle?
All right, Miss Pearl. Closing out. Do you have any last words to give the people?
Trust God.
Look at God. Upcoming events, Jim.
Upcoming events. Let's go down the line. Of course, of course, of course. You know what we like to do? we like to promote some upcoming. First and foremost, we would like you guys to join Love Jones for her turnabout event. Love Jones always supports us, and we like to support the people that support us. So please, if you're not doing anything, no, even if you're doing something, stop what you're doing and come out and support Love Jones. It's gonna be a turnabout. We ain't had a good turnabout in a minute, so we want you guys to come on through and support Love Jones November 8th. Also, look at Sean fell off again. It's okay, it's cool. It's time for the Christmas gala. It's time for this Christmas gala. If you guys have not already got your tickets, we had a few advance tickets left. If you have not secured your tickets, please do it as soon as possible because at the door it will be $50. And we know you guys like to save a little coin. So get in touch with Denise. Go ahead and get your advance tickets. Take a bath, put on your good clothes, come out, enjoy yourselves. I love seeing everybody in they nice little garbs and smiling, and we just come together for a great purpose. This is one of our biggest fundraisers for the Shy Foundation, and we will be pleased if you guys would join us. I don't know what happened to Denise, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this podcast. Miss Pearl, it has been a pleasure. I just, my heart goes out to you, and I just want to thank you personally for sharing your story. And we will be in touch. And please add us to your circle of support. We're here for you as much as you. Oh, there she goes. She back. We're here for you as much as you allow us to be. Like I said, thank you for opening up your heart and sharing your daughter's story with us. Your courage, it speaks volumes. And your restraint, because we know the anger is there, but your restraint that you have, that also is just I'm gonna let it be a model for me because it just shows you in the midst of all you're going through, just you have to restrain yourself and let God do what He's gonna do. To every listener at home, please just embody these stories that we have gave you guys over these last couple episodes. And we encourage you, if you're in any kind of situation that you feel that's not right, if it's not grounded in love, please remove yourself from
I
it.
cannot hear you.
You can't hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Ah,
Can you hear me, Miss Pearl?
yes.
I can't hear you.
It's you, Denise. Denise speakers don't work.
Hello.
But if you're in a situation and you need help, please reach out to. You can reach out to the Shy Foundation. You can reach out to your local church. You can call the domestic violence hotline. Just do something. Don't just sit idly by. You do not have to be in that situation. You do not have to endure the abuse at all. We will help you as much as possible. You can go to the Shy
You must
Foundation
forget I had a
website,
podcast.
or
You
you
just
could
call my
call
phone.
1-800-799-7233, and they can give you resources that you need. Um,
Round the corner where?
you have to take her out. With that being said, until next season, we just like to thank you guys for supporting the Sharing Hope and Inspiration podcast. And just remember, even when you have broken pieces, you are able to shine, and that's your beautiful daughter, and we love you. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, tonight, and we bid you adieu.